Thanks, Pete. A Marinette man is behind bars after he was convicted of lying to get welfare benefits. His story, that his ex-wife was dead and his children were living with him. Fox 11 investigates, wanted to know why it took 2 years to find out the story wasn't true. And Robert Hornacek is here with a preview of tonight's report. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Rachel. You know, every year millions of dollars of taxpayer-funded benefits are handed out in places like Marinette County, and some of that money is going to people who don't qualify for the benefits.
This is Stephen Gillis. He's serving a 1-year sentence for welfare fraud at the Marinette County Jail.
I did what I had to do to survive.
How'd he get here? It all began in 2008 when he walked into the Marinette County office to apply for food stamps and medical assistance.
One of my many jobs before becoming an engineer, I was an actor.
So you put on an act?
Oh, I put on my best Academy Award.
Gillis's act worked and allowed him to pull in more than $8,000 in taxpayer benefits over a 2-year period.
The information I gave them was accurate to a point.
County officials had no idea what Gillis was up to.
Did anyone check into his story, or did they simply just take his word for it?
If we have all the required verifications at time of application and nothing is questionable, we approve the benefits.
So how did Gillis work the system?
I said I had 2 kids, 2 children, and this is their birth certificate, Social Security card, and they're living with me.
But he had to stretch the truth to get what he wanted.
When it came to the question of there's no wife in the house, I said, no, there's no woman there in the house. I just didn't correct it.
They said that you told them she had died.
I told her that she departed.
That she departed?
She departed.
So you led them to believe that she was dead?
I didn't correct their assumption.
That she was dead?
Right.
Now, it turns out Gillis's ex-wife was not dead. His children were not living with him. They were actually living in another state. Gillis has paid back the benefits he received, and coming up tonight on Fox 11 News at 9, we'll hear more from Gillis. We'll hear from his ex-wife. We'll also tell you how investigators uncovered the case, and we'll explain how the system basically allowed it to happen.
Wow. So when someone applies for benefits and they give that information, does someone check it?
It depends on the information. They look into some of it. They look into things like whether they live in Wisconsin. They look into things including how much money they make. But beyond that, they really only look into things if they're questionable. And they say in Gillis's case, he sounded believable. They had no reason to doubt his story, that whether it was accurate or not. They say there's typically, it's not unusual for a man to come in and say he has children living with him. So they basically took his word for the rest of the application.
So why don't they check everything?
These are county-run programs, but they're state and federal programs administered at the county level. So the county say, look, we have to follow these rules that only allow us to verify certain information. We have to follow those rules. They only allow us to verify these certain things.
Okay.
The rest of it, we can only look into it if there's a question.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we hear this guy's story. Is it a bigger problem?
The short answer is nobody has any idea. Most of the workers I spoke with for this story say they believe the vast majority of the people who are on assistance are honest, are getting the assistance because they need it, but at the same time, they don't really know because nobody's verifying all of the information, and one worker estimates as much as 20% of the cases out there could be fraud.
Interesting. All right. We'll look for your full report again tonight on Fox 11 News at 9.